Tristan and Jess from East Leeds. How does it feel for me? February 2023. Can you tell us a bit more about the experience at Great Ormond Street Hospital?
Tristan he saw Great Ormond Street in November. It was really nice, and it was like 2.5 hours with him. Listened to me and my mum, spoke to a bit about Tristan. Tristan, initially he shut down, but he took his time, and that's what the amazing thing was this consultant who's never seen him, and Tristan doesn't know him or anything, and he just took his time, and eventually Tristan was saying things he's never said openly before. I was glad that the consultant took the time, because it backed up what I was saying as a parent. It wasn't a totally different story. It was reassuring that nothing was missed, really. It is the brainstem on migraines. That's what he came out with as well. And then the further detail of, they think Tristan's on the autism spectrum. I think what worked well in comparison to Leeds, Great Ormond Street took the time, listened to us as parents and as like my mum's grandma. We weren't being rushed. Everything I was saying was being taken into account. I think it's more to do with personal techniques, like with health professionals, rather than the system, because we're not in the London borough. We get passed over to Leeds. They're advising the medical professions this end on what to do for Tristan.
How was your experience of accessing CAMHS?
I had more of a further conversation about his assessment. It was okay, to be honest. I mean, they did listen. Unfortunately, it's just a very long waiting list. That's the very hard thing as a parent, is knowing you could be waiting another 2 years for any therapy. So he's waiting for CBT and then trying to push for this autism assessment.
Did you feel Tristan's care was more coordinated?
It was very much get referred, that's it. Then you wait for Great Ormond Street. Then it was a lot of communication between me and Great Ormond Street about what's going to happen, what's to be spoken about. Then after the appointment, it's just a consultation letter that gets sent to myself and to whoever was his neuro consultant. Since then, I have had no response from the neuro consultant. I feel like it's very much in my hands. So no, coordination still isn't there.
Have you had any more support as a carer since your last update?
I've really struggled. My mental health has really gone downhill, in the sense of emotionally I'm mentally drained and everything. So that support there, quite frankly, I haven't reached out, but then no one else has really touched base with me. There's little bits of support out there, but I think when you're struggling yourself, that energy to reach out to people to explain all over again is really hard. But my GP has been really good. I contacted Carers Leeds last year, and their support initially was really good. Invited to a Zoom meeting and their newsletters. Since then, I haven't heard anything, so it's very much like you're left on your own, basically. And it's down to you to reach out to them, which can be hard, especially, if you sort of drained yourself.
What one thing about Tristan's care did you really value this month?
The one thing I do appreciate is the psychologist in the pain team. She's still seeing him sporadically, not, every week, but she still does make appointments and reach out. And I had a really good conversation with her the other day about it all, and she's just really patient. So I think, if anything, that's one thing that has really helped.
If you could have changed one thing to make Tristan's experience better, what would it be?
Consistent care, especially when you've got a young person who's struggling with a health condition that isn't improving in the long term or the short term. I think there needs to be that some sort of consistent care for them, whether that's some sort of therapy. I wish I could give him some sort of consistent support, not as a mum, but as someone as a professional.
Thanks to Jess for sharing her experience. Produced by Healthwatch Leeds in collaboration with Lara.